Hello everyone. Now these are the notes portion of the 9.2 lesson and special right triangles. You should have watched the overview already to have some familiarity with this. So I'm just going to whip through the problems and you'll see further examples of how you're going to use those shortcuts. Alright, so let's do it. Alright, first they start us out with the 45, 45, 90 isosceles right triangles. These are the book rules. So whatever you have as a leg, you just multiply by the square root of 2 to get to the hypotenuse. All right, first example. So we've got a 45, 45, 90. And I know that because of the 45 written here. So x, 8, pretty simple, my friends. If you know the legs, you just multiply them by the square root of 2, and there's your hypotenuse. Boom, done. Now on the second one, they start you with the hypotenuse. And again, you know it's 45, 45, 90 because they have x's there. And so let's see, going backwards is easy if they give you the square root of 2 to start. So you just want to divide by the square root of 2. And look at that. SAT will do that a lot as a time saver. The square root of 2 is just cross out, and your legs will be 5. And you know that because you can check it going the other way too, right? If you have a 5 here, then you know the hypotenuse will be 5 roots of 2. All right, now the 30, 60, 90s. Here's our rules we discussed in the other video. The small leg, the 30, gets doubled to be the hypotenuse. And it gets multiplied by the square root of 3. And you know this, guys, because these are AA similarities, right? Like any 30, 60, 90 triangle, you just keep it going. As long as you have the angles, two angles matched up, then you know they have to be similar. You can set proportions up. So all these shortcuts really are proportions, but it's easier if you just memorize what's happening as you progress mathematically. All right, so on this one, I know that if I'm given, what am I given this time? The side opposite 60. Ugh, that's the tough one because when you go backwards here, you have to divide by the square root of 3. That's like going from, up in the example, from this side to this side. So to go backwards, you have to divide by the square root of 3. So we're going to solve for x by taking 9 and divide it by root 3. But we learned in the last video that root 3 on the bottom is a problem. So we want to rationalize that. That gives me 9 roots of 3 over 3. Because again, this is the square root of 9 when you multiply straight across. So that's just 3. Now you can reduce this. You can reduce the 9 and the 3. So you just have 3 roots of 3. So x is going to be 3 roots of 3. So now how do you go from 3 roots of 3 to the hypotenuse? Well, you double it. As you can see up here, from the 30 side to the 90 side, you double it. So y is going to equal 2 times 3 roots of 3. So algebraically, what do? Well, it's just like if you had 2 times 3x. That would be 6x. So you guys are really good with variables. Apply that same logic to a radical. So this is just simply 6 roots of 3. You don't have to multiply the 2 by both 3's, just the 3 that's outside the radical. All right, so I'm sorry. Pause your video here, take a look at the monitor progress, and we'll pick it back up. All right, so here we go. First 4 monitor progress. Number 1, you got a 45, 45, 90, going backwards. So just divide by the square root of 2, and it just leaves you with 2. Now, number 2 is a little different. You have a radical 2, and you're going to the hypotenuse of a 45, 45, 90. So you multiply by square root of 2, but it's root 2, which is root 4, which is just 2. Number 3, same type of thing. You're going from the 30 side to the 60 side. So multiply by a radical 3. So root 3 is root 9, or 3. And then number 4, you think about it like this. You've got a 60, a 30, because you'd have 4, 4, and 4 across the bottom. So it's equilateral. So you just take side opposite 30 to go from the side to the side opposite 60. You multiply by the square root of 3. So 2 turns into 2 roots of 3. All right, some real life problems here now. Let's see, equilateral triangle, find the area. All right, we got this. So here's my triangle. I got a 36 across one of the bases. So cut that in half gives me 18, 18. So now I'm going from, let's see here, I'm given the 30 side. I know either one, all right? I know the hypotenuse, I know the 30 side. So to go from the 30 to the 60, you just have to multiply by the square root of 3. So my height is 18 roots of 3. So now when you find the area, 1/2 base times height, the base is 36, the height is 18 roots of 3. Now it wants an estimate, so you could put that in your calculator. Let me reduce it for you algebraically. That's 18, and then 18, 18 is 324. So 324 roots of 3. Put that in your calculator. So we got 18 roots. So that gives me about 561. So if they want an estimate, then you want to put it in your calculator. If they want an exact answer, you leave it as 324 roots of 3. All right. Moving along. Our last example, find the height of a ramp. So a tipping platform is a ramp used to unload trucks. How high is the end of an 80-foot ramp? So we're going to do this twice, for a 30-degree angle and a 45-degree angle. So when it first gets tipped, so now the ramp was, this is your ramp and it gets tipped up in the air. So now the ramp is up here. And we want to know how high is it. So that's what we're looking for. All right, guys, so this first one, I can go from 80 is my hypotenuse, work it backwards to get the small leg by simply dividing by 2. And you'll get so quick with these guys. Don't get frustrated if you're like, man, he goes fast. It's just years of practice. You go from the hypotenuse to the 30 side, just cut it in half. Now in the second triangle, you're tipping at a 45-degree angle. All right, and so then you want to know your x is over here now. So how do you go from the hypotenuse to a leg to a 45? Well, you got to divide by the square root of 2 in this one. So I've got 80 divided by square root of 2. Rationalize it by multiplying by root 2. So that's 80 roots of 2 over 2, which is 40 roots of 2. And let's see. You want a decimal answer for that? It's like 56.6 if you put that into your calculator. All right, try the last couple months of progress, my friends. Pause it. All right, and our last two problems, number 5, hopefully you got something like 15.6, 9 roots of 3. You want to find the area of that. Base is 6, height 3 roots of 3. And again, that comes from taking the 3 and multiplying it by the square root of 3. Then number 6, you're tipping it up at a 60-degree angle, and it was 14 long, so that's your hypotenuse. So cut the 14 in half to get the side opposite 30, and then multiply that by the square root of 3. All right, guys, rewatch it if you need to. 2 videos for this lesson, that's how important it is. All right, peace.